What the wife purchases should also be considered the husband's. If this is unacceptable, then a divorce is on the table. My husband, Archer, frequently takes things from me without valid reasons. He even goes so far as to gift items I bought for my parents to his family, all to enhance his own image. However, when I confront him with the truth, he becomes visibly uneasy. Before marrying Archer, my grandparents gifted me real estate. Grateful, I shared my intention to use it for our future. Yet my grandparents wisely advised me to keep it a secret, even from Archer, emphasizing the importance of maintaining financial independence. Despite feeling sorry for Archer, I chose to heed my grandparents' counsel. As I continued my married life, an incident unfolded. I discovered that $10,000 had been withdrawn from the joint living expenses account I managed. This account was meant to cover household expenses, including those contributed by Archer. I confronted Archer about the missing money when he returned home. $10,000 are missing from our living expenses account. Do you know what happened? His casual response revealed that he had lent the money to my mother-in-law, Lucy, without informing me. While Archer claimed it was his earned money and we had savings, I pointed out that the account was joint, meant for both of us. While helping family is understandable, communication is essential, especially when it involves shared resources. Taking a substantial amount from our joint account without a word was too much for me to bear. When I expressed my frustration with Archer's selfishness, he gave me an irritated look and grudgingly promised to inform me next time. Dismissing it with annoyance, he hastily retreated to the bathroom. Feeling unsettled about the incident, I couldn't help but think back to how different things were when we first got married. Archer used to listen to me sincerely. Is this what change looks like in a marriage? A few days later, I found myself obliged to visit my parents-in-law's house to deliver a package mistakenly sent to our address. Despite my intention to leave it at the entrance, I couldn't refuse their invitation, ending up in their living room for tea. As I looked around, I noticed various extravagant items, luxurious cosmetics, glamorous clothes, and health products. My in-laws proudly mentioned that Archer had gifted them these items, justifying the expenditure with the $10,000 in our joint account. However, knowing that Archer had lent money to Lucy, who was in need, I couldn't shake off the discomfort seeing the money spent on their lavish indulgences. Sipping tea without much enthusiasm, my in-laws, wearing fake smiles, hinted at me with a threatening undertone. They praised Archer as a wonderful son who showered them with gifts but questioned my role as his wife. With a sly insinuation, they suggested that something suspicious was going on. Archer had apparently complained that I often blamed him for spending money on them. Now the pieces of the puzzle were falling into place. Archer had artfully painted himself as the victim in the eyes of my parents-in-law, weaving a narrative that justified their apprehensive glances towards me. With each passing day, my weariness deepened, a result of the mistreatment and neglect that far exceeded my initial expectations, ultimately propelling me towards the contemplation of divorce. As thoughts of divorce took root in my mind, I began to envisage a future where I would return to the comforting embrace of my parents' house. The prospect of utilizing the savings derived from my passive income to embark on the noble endeavor of rebuilding their current two-story residence, which had weathered over 30 years, beckoned to me. As the inexorable march of time took its toll, the spaciousness of the house posed challenges for my aging parents, making the idea of a more manageable and cozy one-story abode all the more appealing. The decision to share my thoughts on divorce and the plan to rebuild their home with my parents was met with surprising acceptance. Contrary to expectations, they weren't shocked by the news of the impending divorce. Instead, they expressed genuine delight at the prospect of a new home. Over phone conversations, we delved into the details of the plan, exchanging ideas and building a vision for the future. We're glad you're planning to rebuild it for us. Thank you. Even if we won't be living there for long, it won't be a problem since you can take over the house as it was built with your income. My parents graciously acknowledged, their words instilling a renewed sense of purpose. Buoyed by the unwavering support of my parents, I embarked on the arduous yet fulfilling journey of rebuilding their house. As I awaited updates from the construction company, Archer, in an abrupt and unexpected manner, confronted me with a torrent of emotions. "How dare you use our savings to build a house without telling me anything about it?" he exclaimed, the forceful bang of his fist on the table resonating in the living room, where we sat facing each other. The confrontation marked a pivotal moment, unraveling the complexities of shared finances and unveiling the deep-seated resentment that had festered beneath the surface. While yelling at me, Archer continued to express his anger, completely disregarding my feelings. "Well, my parents will live in the new house then." "No, that's impossible. It was built for my parents to live in. You built it with our common property, so my parents have the right to live in it. Are you planning to cram 4 people into that little one-story house? Just give me the house then," Archer screamed, hitting the table noisily, knowing that if I didn't disclose my passive income, his anger would only escalate. I decided to reveal the truth. "To tell you the truth, I have passive income. I've been saving from the real estate gifted to me by my grandparents. I pay for it from that passive income, so I didn't take a penny from our common property." Feeling guilty for breaking a promise to my grandparents, I watched as Archer, in front of me, shook with irritation and pounded the table even harder. "What a bad wife you are, hiding the fact that you have an income. You play around with my money and protect your own by keeping it a secret." Seeing his face turn red with anger, I began to understand why my grandparents advised me to keep my passive income a secret. Perhaps they had sensed that Archer was that kind of person. "I'll take the house as alimony. Besides, the house you built as my wife is mine too. I am the head of the family, and if you disobey me, I will divorce you." Feeling dismayed and fed up with Archer's insistence, I couldn't fathom how I had lived with such a man without truly knowing him. My original intention for the passive income was to use it when we could no longer rely on Archer's earnings to help make ends meet during injury or illness. However, I no longer desired to spend that money on him. "Be my guest." I got up, left the house, and decided to stay at a business hotel for the day to cool off before returning. I needed some distance from Archer and the tumultuous situation at home. The next morning, upon my return home, Archer awaited me with a disgusting smile on his face. Approaching me with a smirk, he held out a sheet of paper from behind his back. Divorce papers already filled out. "You're lying about your passive income, aren't you? You fabricated having passive income to cover up the fact that you were taking money out of our common property," he accused, maintaining the same argument. I sincerely tried to explain, assuring him that I didn't lie. "It's the truth. I have passive income." Archer snickered, forced the divorce papers into my hand, and arrogantly said, "You'll let me know when we can move in, okay? I'm gonna go out for a drink." As he left humming in a good mood, it became clear to me who Archer truly was. He hadn't changed. He had concealed his contempt for me since the beginning of our marriage. He never considered my feelings genuinely. Frustrated, I promptly packed my belongings, filled out the divorce papers on the spot, and left home. I decided to move in with my parents temporarily and explain the situation to them. We agreed to stay together until the new house was finished. The following day, my cell phone's incoming call logs were filled with Archer's number, causing dismay. Subsequently, I received a call from him. Hoping this would be the last conversation with him, I pressed the call button and answered. "Hello," I greeted, trying to maintain a composed tone despite the tumult of emotions within me. "Hey, all your stuff is gone, you know?" My husband's impatient voice pierced through the line, leaving me inundated with a myriad of questions. He was the one who initiated the divorce, so why the urgency and apparent concern now that I had left? "Huh? We're going through a divorce, so it's expected. I won't ever come back, so please utilize the empty spaces as you see fit," I calmly responded, attempting to convey a sense of finality. I wondered if he detected a nuance in the way I spoke. There was a brief silence from my husband, as if he was contemplating something, It seemed like he had just realized that I had a source of passive income. Then, unexpectedly, he adopted a surprisingly sweet tone. Hey, can you let my parents live in the new house? I don't mind living with your parents, please. I've mentioned before that it's a modest one-story house. I want to surprise my parents with a house, he pleaded. His words left me momentarily speechless. What on earth was he thinking, giving them a house that he didn't even purchase and announcing it as a surprise? It seemed like a reckless move, devoid of practicality and forethought. You don't seem to care about the savings, do you? You have no idea how much I fretted over the money I intended to give you as an allowance and the funds earmarked for living expenses to make ends meet. This has nothing to do with the current situation. You seem to handle money carelessly, shifting the burden onto others, and then present everything to your parents as if you orchestrated it independently, right? Yet, all of this has been meticulously prepared by me for my parents, I expressed, a mix of frustration and exasperation lacing my words. As the conversation unfolded, it became increasingly evident that the dissolution of our marriage was not just about emotional separation, but also about navigating the complexities of shared assets and financial responsibilities. My husband, out of the blue, descended into a disconcerting silence, and my vexation was steadily amplifying. It struck me as insubstantial for him to present himself as the visionary force behind our abode, handing it over to his parents. It gave the distinct impression that he sought to exploit my sincere sentiments, asserting dominion over my property without any grounds. There existed no rationale for him to trample upon my emotional landscape and the genuine intentions I had harbored. I categorically refused to surrender the domicile that I painstakingly constructed with every ounce of my heart and soul, derived from my parents, for you to ostentatiously showcase it to your own parents. I unequivocally reject your proposition, I asserted firmly. Archer commenced a vehement protest. But the covenant between spouses is one of mutual assistance. I could inform them that you were the architect behind it. Please reconsider. We are no longer bound by the marital ties, are we? We have become strangers since I have already initiated divorce proceedings. On the precise day when my ex-husband handed me the legal documents signaling the end of our marital union, I promptly submitted them to the city office. He had ardently desired the dissolution of our marriage, and out of a sense of pity, I decided to expedite the separation. Concurrently, I found myself immersed in the labyrinthine process of reverting all the paperwork back to its original state when we were still wed. In a state of disbelief, my ex-husband remarked, "Yes, you have indeed filed for divorce. Why the astonishment when you were the instigator of this separation?" "Oh, I never envisioned that you would genuinely part ways with me. Perhaps we can commence anew. Let's engage in a dialogue and endeavor to be a harmonious couple this time." How could he proffer such an absurd proposal at this juncture? This was a man who had depleted our financial resources in catering to his own mother, brandished the threat of divorce, and derided me relentlessly until the very culmination of our relationship. There is no way I would ever want to get back together with a person like him. No, thank you. Please give my regards to your parents, I said brightly as I hung up his call. The next day, I continued to receive voicemails and messages from Archer, demanding that we get back together. He insisted that we could still start over and professed his love, but I felt that he was only after my property and fortune. To completely cut ties with him, I immediately blocked all contact information related to him and his parents. Meanwhile, the house was rebuilt, and my parents and I moved into our new home, living comfortably. Later, I had a chance to meet with a mutual friend who also knew Archer, and I explained that Archer and I were divorced. My friend offered words of sympathy and shared what had happened to him and his family. Archer had suddenly submitted a letter of resignation at his workplace, claiming he no longer needed to work hard because he had acquired real estate. However, the next day, he apparently tried to withdraw his resignation letter. His bosses lectured him about the trouble caused by his sudden disappearance and resignation letter, but Archer couldn't disclose the real reason for his actions. The company eventually found out about our divorce, and he was refused reemployment. Archer, who had mocked my passive income, was now struggling to find a new job. His parents' home became his refuge, but their apparent disappointment in him added to his difficulties. I could only think that he got what he deserved. In the tapestry of my current existence, I find solace residing in a home I meticulously constructed with my own hands, nestled in the embrace of my parents' love. The echoes of laughter and the warmth of familial bonds have turned this house into a sanctuary, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversities. As I navigate the labyrinth of life, I find myself ensconced in a job that mirrors the aspirations I held dear, each day a manifestation of a dream actualized. Life, as it unfolds before me, is a vibrant canvas painted with the hues of contentment and fulfillment. Despite the initial trajectory of my savings earmarked for Archer and our shared future, a paradigm shift occurred within me. The metamorphosis came as a revelation, compelling me to redirect those financial resources towards a higher purpose, supporting those who have been unwavering pillars of support throughout my journey. The decision to utilize my hard-earned passive income to uplift and empower those who have stood by me in times of need stems from a profound realization. It is a testament to the transformative power of benevolence and a poignant reminder that true wealth lies not just in monetary assets, but in the richness of meaningful connections and reciprocal relationships. The lessons learned through the tapestry of my experiences have crystallized into a guiding principle: the profound importance of surrounding oneself with individuals who not only appreciate but reciprocate the care and support offered. Life, I have come to understand, is an intricate dance of give and take, a symphony where each note resonates with the harmonious exchange of compassion and understanding. I stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless possibilities that unfold when one aligns their life with purpose and gratitude. The decision to forge my own path, to build a haven of happiness, and to use my resources for the betterment of others has elevated my journey from the ordinary to the extraordinary. The threads of my story weave a tapestry of empowerment, where the act of giving becomes a source of unending joy and fulfillment. I hope you guys enjoy our video. To watch more interesting stories, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.